Hi everyone, my name is Dory Schwartz. I'm going to be your instructor for MULT 1115, Helping Skills in Allied Health and Human Services. I'm looking forward to meeting with all of you next week on September 7th. We'll be meeting in Union 242 and we'll meet weekly from 1 to 3:50. I apologize for not being able to meet this week. But I wanted to get us started and thought this would be a good option. So we're going to review, just getting you oriented to the course on Blackboard. Specifically, I want to talk about the syllabus. I want to talk about the Student Code of Conduct. And I want to ask you, and I'll show you where it is, to review the APA format PowerPoint. At the end of all that, you'll also take a quick quiz just for attendance and participation points this week. So it's not the kind you have to study for, but you might want to have a printed out syllabus in front of you for it. Just that's my little hint for that. Okay, well, let's get started. So we're going to start under course information here with the syllabus. You'll see my contact information. It'll be on the syllabus too, but it's listed under course information. My preferred method of contact is email, but anything is fine. And my office hours are posted on my door, but I'm flexible in terms of when we meet. I'm always available during my office hours, though. So let's open the syllabus. I already did that, so it would be the right size here. Okay, good. So again, my contact information. I'm not going to go over a lot of specifics, but just in general, the description of the course. This course is for not only students in this that are planning to continue in the social and human services program, but also in other allied health programs. It focuses on learning how to use your listening skills, building rapport with clients or patients or consumers. We do a lot of role playing. We do a lot of kind of introspection about how we communicate. You are going to learn about like HIPAA and confidentiality. So it's really cross-disciplinary, although it was created out of the Social and Human Services program. I'm going to let you look over the learning outcomes yourself, as well as the program outcomes and the institutional learning goals for the program. Those are all very interesting, but I'll let you go ahead and read over them. You'll see that it is important to have access to a computer and to have completed the Blackboard orientation to be a part of this course, because you are going to take the quiz today and your midterm and final on Blackboard, as well as you have to know how to submit assignments and access the PowerPoints and things like that. So you should be thinking about purchasing the textbooks if you haven't done that already. There are actually 2 textbooks for the course. There's the Pearson Custom Text, which you can find in the bookstore. You can also find the Wagshire and Cruz Learning to Love Yourself text in the bookstore as well. It might not look like this cover that I'm showing you here. There's an older one that's got like a purple drawing on it, and that's fine as well. Either one will work. You can get them at the bookstore. You can also get Learning to Love Yourself on Amazon super cheap. Used ones are, easy to find. So, okay. I wanted to focus on how you're going to be graded in the course. There are several assignments. There's the behavioral writing assignment, which will be your first assignment, progress note assignment. There's going to be a reaction paper, an automatic thoughts assignment, and then you have a self-evaluation of a recording you're going to do or have done to you. You're going to be recorded at the end of the semester. So those are 5 assignments. There's also 2 exams, the midterm and final exam. Your active learning and participation, so coming to class and participating, that includes the quiz you're going to take for this week, is 25% of your grade. The rest, all the assignments and midterms, will add up to the other 75%. Okay, so due dates for all your assignment are listed at the end of the syllabus. I always tell students if you don't print the whole syllabus, at least print the schedule at the end because that's really important. I do put the due dates on Blackboard as well. So if you use the Blackboard calendar, all the due dates have been entered for everything in there. So anyway, if you are going to be late on an assignment, we actually have a plan in social and human services to allow you to submit assignments late. So there's something called a late contract. It's the third bullet here that can be submitted in writing. You can email them to me or drop them off or whatever, but I have to get them 24 hours before the due date. And I will give you a week's extension. I can give you up to a second week's extension, but all assignments have to be due within 2 weeks. If you enter into a late contract with me 24 hours in advance, then there's no deduction in points for it being late. As you'll see in the first bullet, if you do turn it in late without a late contract, there'll be 20% off the assignment. And again, you have to turn it in within 2 weeks or you get a 0. 15% of all your assignments are going to be based on grammar, spelling, appearance, format. We use APA format. I really encourage you to use the Writing Lab for additional support. They are great there. They'll even help you proofread assignments. Okay, so exams, kind of the same thing with things being late. It's hard to do this with final, but with the midterm, if you know you can't take it on the day it's scheduled, if you arrange ahead of time, 24 hours ahead of time, I'll make arrangements with you. If you just forget about it and you're late, it's going to be a 20% deduction of points. All exams are going to be taken on Blackboard. If you work with disability services, let me know and we'll make sure to talk about options in terms of, do you just still want to take it on Blackboard? Maybe you get double time, I can arrange for that. Or do you want to take it at disability services? So those are the options. It is, even though they're online, it is the expectation that it's an individual effort on your part. So I always randomize the questions, so you can't take them with someone sitting next to you anyway. So just wanted to point that out. Exams are usually 2 hours. The quiz you'll have an hour for today, the one for this week, but the exams in general are 2 hours in length. You'll see our grading scale here. It is not the traditional 90, 80, 70, 60 scale anymore. You actually have to get 93% for an A, 85% for a B, and 75% for a C, which is what most people are concerned with because that's what you have to get for the, usually, well, in SHS, to count for the major, you have to get at least a C. I will do my best to explain your grade. I will meet with you if you have questions, and I will give you timely feedback. I always strive to get everything back within a week, whether it's an exam or a assignment. Attendance and participation, like I said, it's 25% of your grade. If you're not in class, even if it's an excused absence, well, we don't do excused absences, but even if it's something you have an excuse for, we can't give you credit for it. There are no excused absences in our programs, even if it's a doctor's appointment or something like that. The reason we do that is because everyone can miss class and still get an A. You can miss a class or two. So, yeah, you can't get participation points if you're not there or attendance. Let's see, what else is important here? We're going to go over the student code of conduct, so it's those kinds of things that you might get participation points off, but honestly, the most common things are if people arrive late or leave early, like it says here, side conversations sometimes. Cell phone usage is another big thing. So if you fall asleep or doze off in class, those kinds of things could also mean that participation points are deducted. I'm going to stop there. I'll let you read the special course requirements and the syllabus statements and the other statements that we've left here. I want to focus on the schedule real quick, just to show you how it's set up. I'm not going to go over every little thing, but as you can see, we've got the weeks in the far left column, and it's got the date on it that we're meeting. Obviously, we're not meeting this week, but it does have, the date of the class. And what we're doing, we will be doing, we're introducing to the course and talking about APA style. So this is the unit of instruction. These are the learning objectives that I mentioned at the beginning of the syllabus that we're meeting in this unit. The assessment method just means that's how eventually you'll be assessed on your knowledge. It should have the quiz listed here for the assessment method for week 1. And then if there are any assignments, like things you have to do, like readings, just what we're going to do in class, kind of these are your assignments, things you want to accomplish that week. If it's an assignment that's due that for points, it's going to be listed here. Your first assignment is going to be week 4 on September 21st. The behavioral writing assignment is due. So that's always highlighted in the far right corner, anything that's due on Blackboard or an exam or anything. So you'll see as we progress through the course, here's your progress note assignment on October 5th. Your midterm is the week of October 19th. It's going to be on October 19th, week 8. We won't meet that week, so that's one week we won't meet. That'll be the next week where we don't meet, is the week you take your midterm. And then so on. So here's the reaction paper, just kind of going through there. Just also to point out, we don't meet week 13 because that's Thanksgiving. And finals week, just like the midterm week, we don't actually meet because you'll take the final on Blackboard. So that's kind of it in a nutshell, the syllabus. The next thing I want to do is under these important documents, you see the code of conduct here. I'm going to open that up real quick. Hopefully it opens so we can see it. Okay, so the code of conduct is something that you'll sign next week. So I wanted to kind of go over it today. It's basically ensuring that the behaviors in the classroom are what we would expect of students, especially those that are going to progress in the social and human services program. Some of you in this class might be in other disciplines and you don't necessarily have to sign this. But it does relate to our expectations in the classroom. We always say that how you are in the classroom is how you are going to present in practicum and in the profession in general. And so in a sense, this is a gatekeeper. We want to make sure that the students that we place in practicum have professional behaviors and interact with others in a professional way. So there's some things that you'd expect. I don't really expect you to be hostile or destroy property or violent. Those things are kind of a deal breaker, and you kind of probably already know that those aren't acceptable. But like I mentioned before, things that we take off participation points for, like lateness or leaving early, or use of cell phones, side conversations, sleeping, those kinds of things can get in the way, and we'll have conversations about those. Most importantly, it's just important to remember to be respectful of other people and to be open to ideas that might be different than your own. So that's the bottom line. Just treat others with respect, treat me with respect, and we'll be fine. So you can look this over, you see where it is there in the course, and we'll sign them next week when we meet. All right. So kind of coming back to here, I wanted to point out where some things were. I'm not going to go to everything. You saw announcements. We're in course information. There is an orientation here I'm going to click on real quick. If you're not familiar with Blackboard, I highly recommend you doing the Blackboard orientation. The PowerPoints for the course we're going to go to next. This is where all